Hi, my name's Audrey, and I want to start off by saying this is my first YouTube video, so please don't make fun of me. But I know you're going to make fun of me. It's okay. So today, I really feel like that I should be making a video because I need to talk to people about alcoholism and substance abuse. My husband is 42 years old. I am 38 years old. We have 3 children, 19, 12, and 6. We own our own business. I'm a stay-at-home mom. For the most part, we do run the business together, so everything that we do, we have teamwork. And typically, my husband and I have excellent teamwork. I'm really grateful for him and everything he does for us. And we typically can live together mostly peacefully. But since my husband was a teenager, he's been an alcoholic. When he was 25, he lost his father, so he became more of an alcoholic. I met my husband in a bar, and I came to realize that he was in fact an alcoholic. I don't know anything about alcoholism. I know nothing. All I know is what I've read off the internet. And what I do know is how I'm starting to feel as a wife living with a husband with alcoholism. He was always a fun drunk. You know, we always had a great time, and I was okay with that. And then as our marriage progressed and the stresses mounted with the children, he became angry. He was angry for reasons that I don't know. I mean, we communicate, but sometimes you just can't spit it out, and it's hard to do that to a loved one. And he became angry, and in some situations he became violent. And that's not my husband. He is a soft soul. He is a people pleaser, and he is a social butterfly. I am not. I'm an introvert. I prefer to stay in my house. I have anxiety. I have paranoia to a certain extent, but I think that paranoia is more overanalyzing than it is paranoia. So I have mental health issues, and that stresses him out. The kids stress him out. That's what kids do. And the stress is just compounding so much for him that he was finding his out by drinking. I mean, I think most everybody knows that that's what you do, is you drink to forget, you drink to have fun. Well, his drinking was becoming no more fun. And I have Crohn's disease, so when I drink, it's far and few between. So I wasn't participating in the alcoholism, but I wasn't griping about it either. Not until things started to get really ugly, and we had some violent situations. And he said he wanted to quit. He had vowed to quit, that he would never let these things happen again. Well, he quit drinking. Quit drinking for 8 months. Went to Al-Anon meetings, talked AODA, he did all that stuff. He didn't continue to do it because he felt like it was a problem that he could handle on his own. Well, 8 months later, it started with a nice new craft beer. Well, if I have just one, it's just one. It's for flavor. Okay, fine, it's just one. Well, then we went to Vegas, and I'm really proud of him for this. He had 2 beers. Now, I'm not proud about the fact that I watched him drink 2 beers, but I'm not his mother for one thing. I love him and he knows that. but I don't want to control him. That 2 beers ended the next week in a couple glasses of wine, and then it became the whole bottle of wine. And once he pitched that first buzz, it was so hard to resist. And we live in a state that drinks a lot. And everywhere you go to a baby shower, it's in a bar. You know, bridal showers, it's in a bar. Communion, it's in a bar. Everything here takes place in a bar or a beer garden or, you know, everywhere. It's everywhere. So I don't know, I could never understand how hard it is for a true alcoholic to live here and constantly be surrounded by the one thing that makes him the devil. So we had a violent situation. It wasn't good. And we were at the point after that maybe we should separate ways. I don't want to live in a marriage like this. But I also vowed to him on our wedding day that I would be here for him through all my mental. I really wonder, you know, how hard that is. I never want to experience, but I wonder. Well, he started off again, back on the horse. He's really going to do it. And I was so excited about that. Well, he made it from September to July 4th weekend. And we went somewhere. It was our community country club, and there's alcohol there. Well, there also happened to be about 10 of his drinking friends. And he tried. But he gets in the swimming pool, the sun is shining, he's got all of his friends around him, maybe just one sparkling water, whatever it is. And I was not there. I was not supervising, I was with my children. And I guess 1 turned into 2, and 2 turned into liquor. And once the bourbon started pouring, that was it. And he was so drunk that I didn't even recognize the person that was standing in front of me. He doesn't have an off switch. He can drink and drink until the point that he just passes out. He has a steel iron stomach. And I just don't know how he doesn't throw up. But he doesn't know when to stop. So he just becomes this crazy person. And he embarrasses me, and he humiliates me, and it really hurts because I know that that's not my husband. So 4th of July, I had to peel him away from the bar and bring him home. And that situation became violent. My parents were here, and things really went bad. Okay, guys. Shh. It's all okay. So the situation became violent, and it just went really bad that day. And the next day, he was sorry. He went to an Al-Anon meeting, and he tried again. The only time he goes to the Al-Anon meetings is when he's feeling guilty, when he's done something wrong or just has a sense of guilt. He wants to go hear the stories of how everyone else wrecked their life. So maybe that would give him some type of motivation to not ruin his life. So, as of today, he is still sober from July 4th. Today is September 28th. Well, so since July 4th, things have been good up until the first week in August. We'll say the first week in August. I caught him in the basement or in the garage with a whippet. And I walked in and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, you should try one. It makes you feel silly. I said, well, I'm not into inhalants like that, and I'm good. I don't want that. I don't want it. I don't want nitrous in my body. So I thought nothing of it. I'm like, he's just being a dork, like sucking it out of the whipped cream can. You know, go get some Ready Whip, suck it out. Fine. It's high school games. He's just being a dork. Well, so then I started to find a few more cartridges. And I started to wonder. And then he started to change. And I thought that it was me, that I was the one that was making him change. That the kids were making him change. That this life was making him unhappy. I knew he was having some depression, and that's really not like him. He doesn't have depression. Or maybe he does, and he just lives in silence. But he had just changed, and he is changed. I started to find these cartridges, or these chargers, they call them, everywhere. I was finding them in my car. I was finding them in his car. I was finding them in the basement, in the garage, in the couch cushions. I was finding them everywhere. I went to him and I said, this is enough. You know, we're not kids anymore. We're middle-aged adults, and this shouldn't even be an issue. So basically what he was doing was he was masking one problem with another. So now not only do we have to deal with the addiction of alcohol, but now we have a substance abuse problem. So then I think, well, do I just give in and say, you know, let's just go ahead and drink? You know, is that better than him sitting around doing whippets? Well, the whippets were becoming such a problem that he wasn't working. You know, he would go into work and he would sit in the parking lot and he'd do whippets and throw the cartridges out in front of his own business. And other people started to notice that his personality was different. His work ethic was starting to deteriorate. He started stealing money from the business that we have together. This I didn't find out until 4 days ago. I realized probably 2 weeks ago that this was severely out of control, that it was so out of control, and I saw it, but I didn't see it. And I would find bags of them, bags. Right now, I have over 2,000 cartridges or chargers that I have gotten from around the house and out of the garbage can over the last week. It's been a week where I've been going behind him and collecting all these chargers, and I have thousands. I mean, it's only 1,000, maybe it's 1,500, I don't know. So I presented this to him, and I asked him if he thought he had an addiction. And he looked in the bag and he's like, yeah, I have an addiction. So then I found out that he had taken out a $60,000 loan through our business. And that is not a decision that either one of us would make on our own. And that's just really not something that we needed in our business. So, and he went through some internet shark company, and he would never do that. Typically, he would never do that. And he can't tell me why he got the loan, but we don't do that. So then he was coming home early from work a lot. And then he kind of started to sit around and would just vegetate. And that's not him. He's always been a productive alcoholic. But even not as an alcoholic, he is like a go-getter. He is a Capricorn. And nothing sets him back. Anything that he wants, he has always worked so hard and strived so hard to get it on his own. And we got together and then we took that on as a team. And it's great how well we work together. I've been in a failed marriage, you know, with abuse and all of that. And where I'm at now is the happiest place in the world. But where I'm at right now is also a very scary place because I am dealing with something I have no idea about. Educate me, people. Help to educate me. I only know how to understand it if somebody explains to me. So I'm at like a loss. I found all of these bags and they were full. They were full. And with every bag and every handful of cartridges, my heart broke a little bit more. Not for me, not for the family, for him. Because he is better than that. He is better than this. Well, we talked and I showed it to him and he told me, I'm not going to do it anymore. You know, I'm not going to do it anymore. I promise I won't do it. Well, so the next day he got up and he went to work, and periodically throughout the day he sounded really happy, kind of. So I asked him, I said, you broke down and you got whippets today, didn't you? He said, yes, I did go get whippets. And I freaked out. In my head, though, I didn't say anything to him, but I wish you wouldn't have done that. I'm not necessarily disappointed. I'm hurt. I'm sad. So we haven't talked about it again since then, but that was only 3 days ago. Yesterday, I honestly believe was his very first day of not having a whippet in months. And I went to the store that he's been buying them from, which is a tobacco shop. It's called Tobacco World. And it's here in our community. The owner has 5. So I go in there with this big bag of chargers. I asked the lady behind the counter, I said, do you know the guy that keeps coming in here buying these? She's like, yeah, we all know him. And I was starting to get a little worried about him, you know, because he's buying a lot each day. Well, I found out he's buying $200 worth of whippets each day and finishing them each day. So I told her that it was ruining our lives and that I wanted her to stop selling them to him. She said she didn't know if she could necessarily stop selling them to him, but she personally would stop selling them, but she doesn't want to risk her job. Totally get it. Totally get it. But please, one woman to another, one human to another, please don't sell them to him anymore. And she said she wouldn't. She called the owner, and the owner knew who he was too, and said, don't sell them to him anymore, I guess. And that was great. But then, so I come home and I find one of the boxes, the erotic lick it off or something. I don't even know what the name of it is. But it says on the box, do not sell to anyone under the age of 18 or anyone that looks like they may be misusing this product. Really? Somebody's coming in there all the time, every day, buying up your whole stock and dumping the chargers on the parking lot and leaving bags of them on the sidewalk because you didn't want to bring them home, I guess. So they knew that he was out there inhaling these, and they come with crackers. You buy a cracker, you put the charger inside this tube, and you twist the top of it, and then it punctures the charger and the gas is released. Well, if you're not supposed to inhale it, why do those even exist? What it's actually for is to help in making whipped cream. Typically you would have this jar, it's got like a whipped cream spout on top. You shake some sugar and some milk in there, you put the nitrous charger in, and bam, you got whipped cream. Well, they didn't have any of those at the store, but they had the chargers. So I really don't know how I feel about that. I'm glad that they agreed to stop selling it to him, but, you know, I don't know. The guy's got other stores. You can't get it around to everyone, I guess. So I'm kind of upset about that, but yesterday, I know he didn't have any. I feel very confident in that. And today is the next day. And I really hope that today he is feeling less clouded. His personality was altered. He was not himself. He just wasn't. I cannot say it enough. He was not himself. And just over him having one day, I can see his spirits seem to lighten, like a fog is coming off of him. I don't know if it comes with withdrawal symptoms. I don't know what kind of damage he's already done to himself. I know it comes with nerve damage where your fingers and toes start to go numb. It alters your personality. You have a vitamin deficiency. And, you know, I mean, it's restricting the oxygen to your brain. It can't be good. So we're on this journey right now. We are on a battle, and we're on a journey. And I don't know why you're watching this video, and if you watched it all the way through, I'm super impressed. But addiction is starting to make this wonderful life crumble. And if you're addicted to drugs and you're watching this, you know that so many people love you, and you might not feel that way, and you're broken inside, and whatever it is you're doing makes you feel better, or takes away the pain, or gives you more ambition, or whatever your drug is doing for you. Just remember that you're going to miss a lot of stuff in this world because of your substance abuse, and with every peak is a valley. And if you're a loved one dealing with this, the only thing that I can say is it hurts. It hurts. It's sad. I've started to form resentments, and resentments aren't good in a marriage. You just can't have them. And I'm going to fight them, and I'm going to fight for him because he has fought for me. I won't be in an abusive relationship. That's where I'll draw the line. I will take my children and I will leave, and I won't look back, because I will not allow anyone anymore in my life to be abused, especially my children and I. So I'll keep you updated if you want to be updated. You know, there's a lot of other things we can talk about too, like our depressions or anxieties, or, you know, really, I have lots of life experiences, and I sometimes wish I didn't, but, you know, feel free to give me your suggestions or insults or, you know, resource. I'd appreciate that. I really would. And thanks for watching my very first ever YouTube video.